farmers can teach a lot to the big ones. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think one of the questions I get a lot is a lot of people say, well, they want to go into agriculture, right? And that's always a very vague statement and a vague request. And then there's the second question is, what is the best place to start from, right? So what would you advise is a good entry point into agriculture, even if we don't say cashew specific, but generally in agriculture? Is there a specific area of agriculture that carries less risk to be able to use as an entry point? What would you advise?
Thank you very much. I think we need to understand that agriculture is a high-risk business in whatever way you look at it. And if you want to go into agriculture, if you have some space at the back of your house, I think you should start there. Start small. But most importantly, you need to understand the value chain, how you start, even if you're not going into. So the value chain is wide, but you can start from the planting to the harvesting to the processing, aggregation. I mean, there's so many parts of the value chain. So you need to understand the entire value chain and decide where you feel you're more comfortable to begin. Also, you know, vegetables are easier in most cases than planting rice, for example. So vegetables is something, and there's a huge market for vegetables in Nigeria, let alone outside the country. And then when you look at cash crops like the cashews and the cocoa and the shea, who take a longer time to mature, you know, that can be a long-term plan. If you have a farmland, that you can use them as fences, for example, knowing that in 3 to 5 years, you would have cashew trees or shea trees or cocoa tree, you know, protecting your farmland. So for me, I think the most important thing is that you need to understand, you need to research, you need to understand, and then understand the technology that is also available. There's so many technologies that are now available that make it much easier for you to go into farming. And I'm very happy that farming is becoming more sexy. A few years back, it was an area where nobody wanted to go into, but I think we're beginning to see the benefits of agriculture, and a lot of more interest is going on. I think this is one of the reasons why we're here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to ask the NEPC, so exporting is a very daunting idea when you're in Nigeria. I think I would like to hear from you, in your mind, for small businesses that maybe haven't had any export experience yet, what do they need to prepare for, and what are the biggest bottlenecks when they want to export commodities, for example?
Oh, well, Rachel said export is very daunting. Of course, that is true. For SMEs, we always advise them to look at their where their strength lies. Look at where their strength lies. If you are going into agriculture, want to go into agriculture, ensure that you build up the expertise. The thing we do tell people is that not everybody cannot be exporter. Look at the value chain and know where you can, you know, maximize your strength. In some countries, a very few percentage of people are farmers. And in Nigeria, let me digress a bit, the farmers are really trying their best. Nigeria is a country that is leading in the production of a numbers of commodities, cassava and a whole lot of them. And this is made possible because of the farmers. Now, the processors has the responsibility to take it from there to process and then export. Now, for small and medium enterprises that have the capacity to process, what we do are small scale enterprises. Like the Honorable Minister says, one of such incentives is taking them to international trade show. The essence is to expose them to new technologies, to new markets, to opportunities available. And then the key India. Sometimes we go with product that does not meet the international requirements. And by the time they interact with international players, they will advise them on what to do. And this builds their competencies. It builds their capacity. And when they come back, they improve on them. And like I said, quite a numbers of SMEs have been able to export. Also expose them to mentors. There are numbers of companies, big-time companies, apart from Julius Baker is just coming in. So many big exporters of cashew. So this SMEs, we link them up. There's one holding. We link up the SMEs with the, and they go through the intricacies of exports. And I think we have recorded a huge success through this particular program. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to get some insight from NICOP, right? Or NICOP, right? What kind
From the